Listen, I want to talk to you about the steps to starting your nonprofit organization, the steps to starting your nonprofit organization. I think one of the most common questions that I get, one being, Jen, how do I get funding for my new nonprofit? Or what are the steps to starting my nonprofit? So I want to talk about the steps because I think that we have to lay the foundation for our nonprofit before we can get funding for our nonprofit, right? For those of you that are saying, Jen, I need grants for my nonprofit. We have to first have the nonprofit set up. We have to have it in place. We've got to have the systems, the tools, and what the grant funder needs in order for them to consider you for grant writing or grant funding, right? So let's talk about the steps to starting your nonprofit, the steps to starting your nonprofit. The first thing that you want to know is what is the need? What is the problem that your organization is solving? All right. What is the problem that your organization is solving? We are in the business of solution. We are in the business of solving problem. We are in the business of meeting need. That's our business, okay? We are in the business of result. So, in order to start your nonprofit, you first have to know, what need am I addressing? What is the need, right? And that need comes with a stat, it comes with proof, it comes with evidence of need. Why is that important? Because when you have solved the problem, when you have met the need, there's also proof that you did that, right? There's proof that you met the need. The people come into your program with this need. They are introduced to your program activities. And when they leave, they no longer have that need. Am I making sense in what I'm saying? So the steps to starting your nonprofit begin with, one, what need are we addressing? You don't start your nonprofit thinking about what is it that you want to do. That's not how you start. That's not the foundation for you beginning your nonprofit. Not first saying, this is what I want to do. That's not how we start. We start our nonprofit first knowing, what problem are we solving? What is our niche? Have you ever heard the term niche in the business realm? What is your niche? The niche of your nonprofit is the problem that you are solving. If you are solving the problem of homelessness, right? Your niche is knowing the needs of those that are homeless, having the activities, having the tools, having the resources through your program. And when they leave your program, they no longer have that need. They no longer are in that place of need. When they leave your program, their problem has been solved. Are you all hearing what I'm saying? So, what are the steps to starting your nonprofit? Number one is knowing, what is the need? What is the need that we are addressing? What is our niche, right? What is it that we are purposed to do as a business? Your nonprofit is a business. We are in the business of solving problem. We are in the business of meeting need. So step one is knowing, what is our niche? What problem are we solving? That's number one. Being clear about what is the problem, and then comes the activities. Many people start their nonprofit with the activities first. Jen, I want to start a nonprofit. Jen, I want to start a nonprofit to help the homeless. Jen, I want to start a nonprofit to help single moms. Jen, I want to start a nonprofit that's a sports program. Those are the activities. But the activities don't come first. The need comes first. This is why these activities are important. This is why these activities are essential. Why? Because at the end of these activities, there is proof, there is evidence that you indeed met the need. There is proof, there is evidence that indeed your program delivered solution. So what do you start with? You start with the problem first. Put problem in the chat. Put problem in the chat. You start with the problem first, okay? And then you create the program. The program doesn't come first. You don't come out saying, Jen, I want to start my nonprofit to do. Because your donors and your funders are not funding what you want to do. They are funding the result of what you do. They are funding the proof that what you do in those activities works. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? So what are the steps to starting? First step, what is the problem? What is the need that our organization is addressing? All right. After you know what the need is, you know what population has that need, right? When we're talking about youth, Jen, I want to help youth. I want to help youth. That's very broad. Help them to do what? What problem of youth are you dealing with? Well, Jen, I want to help those youth that need scholarships or that need mentoring for career development. So then what gap of youth are positioned to receive and to benefit by career mentoring, right? That's not age 0 to 14. They're not in the career area, right? You are meeting the need between possibly the ages of 16, 17 to 24. That's the area of need that the mentoring, that the career development can really show result. Put result in the chat. Result in the chat. We start our nonprofits because we know the result. We know what solution looks like. We are clear about what problem solved look like, right? We're in the business of solution. Our nonprofit is not in the business of program activities. We are in the business of solution. That's our business. We are in the business of meeting problem. We are in the business of solving problem. We're not in the business of activities. All right? Now, what is a program? Now that I know what the problem is, I know what segment of the community has the problem. I know what caused the problem. Your niche, your expertise as a business, as a nonprofit business, is to know everything about the problem. And you are what? Creating, producing, presenting your value. What is your value as your business? Solution. That's what we created for, right? Our purpose is solution, solving the problem. That's what makes our business valuable to the community because we solve problem, right? So the first step, I know what the problem is. I know what the problem is. I know what segment of the community have the problem. And because I know what the problem is, I know what segment of the community has the problem. You now are creating the program. What is the program? The program is a group of activities that are strategically designed to solve this problem. That's what a program is. That's why you don't start with program. You don't start with what you want to do. Why? Because our donors, our funders, our contributors, they don't give money for what we want to do. They give money for the result of what we do, the outcome of what we do. The proof that what we do works is what they're investing in, the result. The result of the activities, problem solved. The result of the activities, mission accomplished. That result is what inspires, motivates, connects the donor, the funder, the partner in what we do, right? So the steps to starting your nonprofit begin with, what is the problem? Who has the problem? And then you create the program activities that are what? Strategically designed to solve this problem. Are you hearing what I'm saying? All right. Now that you know what the problem is, now that you've put together the activities that are intentionally and strategically designed to solve the problem, the third thing is, what does that cost? How much does it cost to solve the problem? What are the materials? What are the supplies? What's the equipment? Who's the staff that are going to be doing the activities and measuring the result or our success at meeting the need? That's where you start. Why is that important? That's important because when you are introducing, when you are clarifying, when you are describing to the people that are not in what we do, why what we do is important, they are connected not to your passion or to the activities. Jen, we need money for camp. Jen, we need money for scholarships. Jen, we need money for backpacks. Jen, we need money for whatever activity. They're not inspired by activity. They are inspired by result of activity. What is a program? By definition, a program is a group of activities that are strategically designed to produce a result. That means what? The people come into our nonprofit with a problem. We introduce the program and the program activities. At the end of our program, when they leave our program, this is now what they look like. They came in with a problem, they're leaving with their problem solved. They are leaving with their problem solved. This you should be able to describe. You should be able to show through what? Through photos, through testimonials, through before and after. And the result of what we do, proof that these activities worked, right? The result, the outcome, the success of what we do proves that the money spent on activities was well worth that investment. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? These are the steps to start it. Your starting is not paperwork. Starting your nonprofit is not paperwork. Did you hear what I said? Starting your nonprofit is not paperwork. Okay? It is. We are in the business of solution. Your nonprofit is a business. You've got to know how to run, how to manage, how to sustain, how to fund, how to support, how to grow the business. Not the program is not the business. Okay? When you decide to start a nonprofit, you are starting a business. There are two categories of business, for-profit, nonprofit. The only difference between those two business categories is profit. What is profit? Anything and over and above what it costs to operate is profit. Over and above what it costs to operate is profit, right? In the for-profit business, they are in the business for the profit. What is profit? Over and above what it costs to operate is profit, right? What do they do with the profit? They take the profit and they distribute the profit between partners and shareholders. We are not in the business for the profit. However, what is profit? Over and above what it costs to operate. So we are in the business of impact, which is not free. And we need the cost to operate operations and the cost to run the program. That's not profit. That is the cost to do the business of result. That is the expense to do result. Now, many people start their nonprofit thinking that starting is paperwork. Starting your nonprofit is not paperwork. Starting your nonprofit is knowing the business. Every business has a product. Every business has a product. Every business has a product. What is your product as a nonprofit? Your value or your nonprofit product is result. We meet need. We solve problem, right? And that value of what we do, solving problem, meeting need, is what is the justification for the funding needed to do that work. It's not for passion. It's not for what you want to do. It's for the result of what we do that the money goes to. That's the return on investment. The return on investment to the funder, to the donor, to the supporter, to the contributor is result. Remember, the people that are in our programs are not our donors, are not our funders, are not our contributors, right? Our donors, our funders, our partners, our contributors come from outside. I just want you to be clear about what are the steps to starting your nonprofit organization, because it is through laying the foundation foundation of your nonprofit business is not the program activities. You don't stand up the program activities. Jen, I want to create a transitional house. Jen, I need a building to do an after school program. Jen, all of those are expenses. You don't stand up the expenses in the business without first knowing how much is it going to cost to run this business year after year. How much is it going to cost to run this business month after month? What are the expenses to meet the need, to do the activities, to get to the result? How much is that going to cost month to month? To start your nonprofit and begin by doing the activities of that program without being able to communicate, to clarify, to describe, to introduce why what we do is important, your donors and your funders won't know and won't be able to contribute. They won't be inclined. They won't be connected to the activities. They're not in the activities, right? Your donors, your funders, your partners, your collaborators, your supporters are not in the activities, but they are investing in the result of our activities. Am I making sense? I want to first of all say thank you all for joining. Thank you all for joining. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you so much for sharing. Listen, I am on my way to 1,000 subscribers. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. My name is Jennifer Yarbrough. I am a nonprofit expert, over 38 years of experience helping organizations put together plans and strategies, systems and tools so that organizations have what it needs to generate the revenue to do your work. Okay. I help organizations generate revenue. I am a professional fundraiser. Okay. I am a person that shows nonprofits how to generate money for their nonprofits. Where does money come from? Money comes from your community, right? Your donors, your funders, your partners, your supporters, your sponsors, your volunteers, those that would and could be engaged to see the evidence of what you do, right? That's where money comes from, your community. So what is it about what you do that causes the donor, the funder, the supporter, the contributor to give to what you do, and they're not in what you do, right? The people who are in your program are not your donors, are not your funders, are not your contributors. So then how do you connect with the people who are not in it for their interest to invest in what we do? They are connected to, they are inspired by, they are concerned about the result, the need that we meet, not the activities of what you do, not the passion for what you do, right? So how do you start? What are the steps to starting your nonprofit? One, knowing what the need is. Two, knowing what the activities are to meet that need. Two, three, who are the population, or what is the population of people that you are serving? And four, what is your mission? Your mission is like your brand statement, right? Your mission is your brand statement. What is a mission? What is a mission? Let's talk about what a mission is. If you have not gotten my nonprofit startup guide, you should. All right. This is an opportunity for you to get resource and information about what it is to not just start your nonprofit, but knowing how to run it, knowing how to fund it. All right. I have written several books in my 38 years. Oh my God, 38 years of doing this work. My very first book that I wrote was The Guide to Grant Writing Success. My second book was My Guide to Fundraising Success. My third book was Nonprofit Startup to Sustainability. Is that upside down? Nonprofit Startup to Sustainability. My fourth book was Blacks in Nonprofits, the Grant Writing Edition. My fifth book was How to Be Accountable to Your Nonprofit in Terms of Raising Money. All right. So I have written several books. The best book that I've ever written was this one, The Nonprofit Startup Guide. All right. So let's talk about what it is that you want to be able to say. You want to be able to say to your donors and your funders? How do you connect with your donors and funders? How do you get their interest to support what you do, right? It is through your mission. It is through your mission, all right? This is what it sounds like. All of this is in my is in the guide, all right? This is what it says. What is the mission? The mission of a nonprofit is your core purpose. What is our purpose? Our purpose is to address need. Our purpose is to solve problem, right? It defines what the organization does, who it serves, and the impact it seeks to achieve, right? That's what our mission states. It's like our brand message. It's the thing that resonates with your donors and your funders. It's the thing that clarifies to the donor, the funder, the supporter, the contributor, what you do and why what you do is important. It's that articulation. It is that clarification. It is that description of why our work matters in the community, that they, the donor, the funder, the partner, the contributor, that they connect to, not your passion and not the activities of what you do. It is the what do the activities solve that they're interested in. It is the why are these activities important that they connect to. Because it is the work of the activities where all the money is, right? The activities, the materials, the supplies, the staff, the space, right? The equipment, all of that to deliver the activities is where the money goes. But what is the return on that investment of activities? It's the result. That at the end of our activities, this is what our result looks like through testimonial, through evidence, through evaluation, right? We're able to show the before and after. We're able to prove that our program worked. We're able to prove that the money that went into the activities were well spent. You got to have that foundation. Why? If you don't, then you don't know what to say to the donor. You don't know how to introduce what you do to the funder. Jen, I don't have any donors because I don't know what to say. Jen, I don't know where to start. Jen, I don't know where to begin. Jen, I'm funding everything by myself. Why? You are a business that has value. You are a business that has value. I'm going to say it again. You are a business that has value. What is your value? Your value is result. Your value is problem solved. Your value is need met. That's your value. Your value is not your passion. Your value is not what you want to do. It's what is the result of what you do. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? All right. So how do we start? What are the steps to starting your nonprofit? It begins by knowing what the need is. 2, who are the population that has that need? 3, what is our solution going to look like? What does solution look like? Not what activity looks like. What does it look like when the problem is solved? You then create the activities to achieve that end. You create the activities to achieve that end, problem solved. You then find out or figure out how much does it cost for that to happen. How much are we going to need for materials? How many people are we going to serve? What's going to be required to deliver those activities? That's where the cost comes in, or your budget. Now, you are a business, right? You have operating costs and you have program costs. You started a business, okay? Your not-for-profit is a business. It is not a program. It is a business. It is not a program. It is the business that is categorized as not-for-profit. It is the business that is categorized as not-for-profit, not the program. It is the business that is designated as tax-exempt, not the program, okay? The business, the nonprofit organization has the mission statement. The business has the mission statement. The program accomplishes the mission of the business. I'm going to say that again. The program accomplishes the mission of the business. Funding goes to the business, not the program. Funding goes to the business, right? The grant funder, the donor, they give their donation and contribution to the business. Now, many people, the stats say 87 out of 100, are starting their nonprofit thinking that the program is the nonprofit, and that's not true. Your program is not for profit. Your program is not what is tax exempt. Your program does not have the status of not for profit. The business does. That which has the EIN, that which has the business bank account, that has the nonprofit status, right? And your program is accomplishing the mission of the business. So we are in the business of what? Result. Our program is what accomplishes that result. The business has the mission. The program accomplishes the mission. So your mission is like your brand, right? Being able to articulate, this is who we are, this is what we do, this is who we serve, and this is the result of what we do. Who are you having that conversation with? Your donors, your funders, your supporters. Well, who are your donors, your funders, and your supporters? The people that are interested in the result. Your ideal donors, your ideal contributors, your ideal supporters, your ideal grant funders are who? People that are interested in investing in the result of what you do. Am I making sense? Listen, starting your nonprofit is starting a business. And for many of you, you don't know that it's a business. You thought it was your passion. You thought it was, a wonderful idea. And not to say that it's not any of those things. But when you are inviting people to invest in your business, you've got to be able to give back to them the return on their investment. What is the return on their investment? Result, right? Particularly when we are talking about people who are not in our programs. The people that you are serving through the activities of what you do are not your donors, are not your funders, are not your supporters, are not your contributors, right? So who are your donors? Who are your funders? Who are your contributors? The people that are not in it but are benefited by your result, right? The community. You are a community-based business. And through the success of your work, not only are you impacting or affecting the people that are in your program, you're also affecting and improving the entire community. We are a community-based business. Our supporters, our contributors, our donors, our partners, our volunteers, our board members come from the community. Why would they give their time? Why would they give of their money? Why would they give of their resource for something they're not in? They give because they value the result that we bring. Am I making sense? For those of you all who are new to me, it is important that you understand what you started. You started a business, and your business has a valuable product. What is your product? Impact. That's your product. Okay? I am a professional fundraiser. I help organizations get the clarity, the strategy, the systems, the tools, the language to raise money, to raise awareness of why money is needed and important, and the return on the investment of that money is result. I help organizations clarify, describe, articulate, be comfortable and competent in how they introduce their business and their product to the people who are not in it. Right? How do you raise awareness? How do you show evidence? How do you articulate? How do you introduce what you do to the people who are not in what you do? What do you say to your donors? What do you say to a prospective funder? What do you say to a major gift giver? right? How do you start the conversation? That's what I specialize in. I am a professional fundraiser. I am a grant writer. I am a nonprofit strategist. I teach this in colleges and in business incubators. And so I help organizations really clarify what their product is. I help nonprofit organizations really verbalize and vocalize why our work is important. I help you as the executive director and the founder, as well as your board, so that your board is able to contribute to the resource development of your organization. The truth is this, that if you as the executive director don't know what to say, Jen, I don't know what to say to a donor. I don't know what to say to a funder. I don't know how to start the conversation. I don't know what to ask for. That's how we raise money, communication, right? And so if you don't know what to say, then your board, those that are on your team, also don't know what to say, right? So I always say to people, money is not your problem. Money is not your problem. Money is a fruit at the root of why there's no money. Jan, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to raise money. Jen, I don't have a plan to raise money. Jen, when I started my nonprofit, I didn't know it was a business, so I didn't prioritize raising money. How do we raise money? We raise money by showing and sharing our value as a business. What is our value? Our result, our impact. Put result in the chat. We are in the unique business of result. We do what business with for-profit businesses cannot do. We do what government cannot do. And the work that we do is not free. It's not free. It costs money to do the work, right? We need money for the internet. We need money for phone. We need money for bookkeeping and accounting. We need money for equipment. We need money for staff. We need money for materials and supplies. We need money to do the work. We're not talking about profit. We're talking about the money to operate, right? In the for-profit business, it may cost 65 cents to operate, 35 cents of that after operations, after the cost of operations, 35 cents is profit, right? It costs 65 cents to operate, 35 cents is profit. What do they do with the profit? They take the profit, they distribute the profit between partners and shareholders. We are not in the business for the profit, but what is profit? Over and above what it costs to operate. We are not for profit. That means we just need the money to operate. We need money for salaries. We need money for materials, for supplies, for equipment, for space, for accounting, for branding, for marketing, for fundraising to operate. Because if there is no money coming in to cover our expenses to do the program and the work, then the program doesn't have any money to do the work, right? So there is what? 30 cents goes to operation, up to 35. 30 cents goes to operation, 70 cents goes to program. That's for materials, for supplies, that's for staff, that's for space, that's for equipment, that's for whatever is needed to deliver result. So we're not talking about profit. We're talking about the cost to deliver our product. We are in the business of result. Am I making sense? So these are the steps to starting your nonprofit. It does not begin with what you want to do. It does not begin with standing up program. And it does not begin with filing the paperwork. Okay? That is not how you start. Starting your nonprofit is not paperwork. Starting your nonprofit is knowing what the result, that's your product, knowing what is the result of what we do. Because the result of what you do, is what attracts, what introduces, what clarifies, what raises awareness and confidence of the donor and the funder to give to what you do. All right? Listen, raising funds is not hard when you are able to clarify and articulate about the importance of our work. Again, we do the work that for-profit businesses cannot do. We do the work that government cannot do. And so we have the unique opportunity to not only serve the people who are in our program, but we also have the unique opportunity to serve our community as a whole. That the work and the success that we have through our program also benefits the community as a whole. You are the executive director, you are the founder, you are the CEO of a business, not a program. So it is your job to know the strategy, the systems, the tools by which to support the growth, the development, the expansion of your business. We're in the business of result. Without the revenue, without the funding, we can't do our work. Without that, we can't do our work. And unfortunately, many of you have started your program thinking that the program is the business, and it's not. The program is not the business. The not for profit status is on the business. The program accomplishes the mission of the business. The program accomplishes the mission of the business, but the program is not the nonprofit. The business is not for profit. The business is tax exempt. The mission being accomplished is the focus, is the mission of the business. The purpose of why we exist is result. And the program helps us to accomplish the mission. But the program is not the business. You are the president of the business. You are guiding, you are spearheading, you are torchbearing, you are advocating for the mission being accomplished, need met. The program is evidence that your business is successful, right? That at the end of our program, this is what result looks like. This is proof that we were able to solve the problem. And that happens through program evaluation, that happens through the testimonials, that happens through the evidence of your success, achieving mission, okay? Result. I hope that this is clear. Thank you all so very much for being a part of this conversation. Again, my name is Jennifer Yarbrough. I would appreciate if you are enjoying this information and this content. Go back through my videos. I have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of videos on this channel. I am now turning forward to go live here on YouTube, and I hope that you will join me. Your likes, your shares, your comments, your subscribing, turning on your alerts so that you are alerted when I go live. Your questions are also appreciated. If there is something about the nonprofit space that you would like me to answer for you, please let me know. Again, I've been doing this work for 38 years. I'm not new to this. I am true to this. It was my job to run nonprofits. It was my job to fund and to raise funding for nonprofits. It was my job to help 1,000 organizations, both nationally and internationally, generate revenue for their nonprofit organizations. And it will be my pleasure to share with you exactly how I do it and how I've done it and how I've shown others how to do it. I do have a fundraising training coming up in January. If you would like more information about that training, say me, Jen, say me, Jen, say me, Jen in the comments, and I will share in the subscription or in the description of how you can register for that training. It is 10 days where together I'm going to show you how to build a fundraising plan. All right. Together, 10 days, we're going to put together your fundraising strategies. We're going to talk about how to put together your streams of revenue. You have 8 streams of revenue. All right. Your business should not be broke. You have 8 streams of revenue. All right. If you are the only funder, you are missing the opportunity to be fully funded. All right. You have 8 streams of revenue. You have predictable expenses. You need what? Predictable revenue. Where does revenue come from? 8 different places. Now, there are 14 in total, but everybody has 8. Everybody has 8 streams of revenue. All right. You have individuals, you have businesses and corporations, you have events, you have in kind, you have grants, you have program fees, products and services, and partnerships and collaborations. Okay. There is no reason why you, as a business, every business has multiple streams of revenue. Every business has multiple streams of revenue. Your business has to have revenue, okay? In order for you to be able to operate and in order for you to be able to sustain and maintain that program. All right. So I am going to be sharing with you how to, put how to in the chat. The how to, not just the what to do, but the how to. How do you raise money for your nonprofit? Again, I am a professional fundraiser, and it was my job to show 1,000 organizations how to raise funding. I'm going to drop the link in the description. It's only $47 for 10 days with me to put together your fundraising strategy, know how to articulate your impact, being able to know what to ask for and how to make the ask, and how to identify who your ideal donors are. All those things we're going to go over in the nonprofit fundraising challenge. Okay, I'll put the link in the comments or in the description. All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for those of you that like and share, and for those of you that will subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscriptions, and so your help is greatly appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will be back tomorrow. All right. My commitment is to go live here on YouTube on a regular basis. You all have been so kind and so encouraging. And so it is my pleasure to begin to go live here to give you some insight, to share my 38 years of experience, and to answer your questions. So if there are any questions at all that you have about your nonprofit, put it in the comments and I'll be sure to address them when I come live tomorrow. All right. Thank you all. Have a good night.